Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. If you happen to be watching this, you just saw MJ launch her camera into the abyss.
That was some like really interactive spirit fingers. It took me to another dimension for a second, I think.
Well, that was quite the intro. The
I'm MJ.
and I'm Sabrina. And we're going to be talking about Backlash today.
And if you want to see and listen to more shenanigans, please follow us, like us on all social media channels, subscribe to the podcast, and leave a comment. Say hi.
Yes, yes, yes. If this is your first time listening, be sure to go listen to, at the very least, the beginning of another episode so you can see how these intros usually go.
Oh my god, listen to the one from last week where we went on a fucking tangent in the very beginning. Remember, I don't remember what it was about, but I was listening to it when I was driving the other day. I was like, what did we say in the beginning again? And I was just cracking up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got positive feedback about it, I think. So, eh?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that episode did pretty well. So thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, yeah. And if you keep rewarding our bad behavior, we will keep doing it. So,
Hell yeah, we will.
uh,
I'll find someone else's phone to throw next week.
right? You just start filming yourself breaking into your neighbors' houses and throwing their phones.
What was that for? You know what you did.
Oh god. Well, we are talking about backlash, which I imagine if you commit robbery or harm someone's phone, that will lead to some sort of backlash. But
Oh, good tie-in. Okay,
this is of the
okay.
WWE variety.
Okay.
And I think anyone who watched SmackDown before um Backlash
Yeah.
was expecting the crowd to be like at a hyped level, but
Yes.
I mean, they were so loud in a good way.
Yeah. It was fucking yeah. But for context here, I've been working so much that I finally just got to watch Backlash. Sabrina was nice enough to push back our podcast time so I could watch the most of the pay-per-view. But oh my god, that was fucking amazing. That was so great.
It was so fun. And even it's one of those things where you can tell that like crowds really make or break sometimes pay-per-views because like the wrestling's
Yeah.
all good. But it
Yes.
definitely brought it to another level.
Yeah.
Um just yeah, people there had never been a PLE or a pay-per-view in France before. So I
Yeah.
think it's really smart them traveling around and doing PLEs in various countries.
Me too. And I think it's great how this card only had 5 matches. And I really am a big fan of that. Like I would rather sit and watch a long match than have that same match broken up into 3 smaller matches, like any day. So watching 5 matches was and just kind of like being able to soak in every match and just like I don't know, it just made it really fun to just kind of like be entranced by wrestling in that way. Yeah, I love it.
It's interesting because like the WWE, because they have the Peacock deal,
Hmm.
having just 5 matches, having a show go like 4 hours, like an hour longer than Raw, is fine.
Yeah,
Like I think if they were charging $50, people might get a little
sure.
upset, maybe, or if there were just like 5 matches, I don't know.
Mm.
But people are also upset because Tony Khan overbooks pay-per. There's no making wrestling fans happy. I don't know what I'm even trying to do here. So,
I love how long AEW pay-per-views are personally. I just don't like when they're on Sunday nights because I have to work at 6:30 in the morning on Monday mornings. But I do appreciate when WWE pay-per-views happen because I'm like, oh, I watch AEW pay-per-views. The length of this is nothing. So I was like, bring this on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the length of AEW ones are a lot, especially, like, WWE has the packages often in between
Yeah.
matches, so, like, if you're watching at home, you have enough time to run to the bathroom, grab a snack, and come back. AEW
Yes.
does not do that.
Yeah.
You're holding your bladder on that one or missing a match, so
And
or
the
a part.
merch lines are always rough and at AEW shows when you go live, and then the concession lines are long. Yeah, I wish they would have some intermissions built into AEWs, even though I know that because the card is so dang long, it's hard to fit those in. But yeah, I was kind of bummed because I almost missed like a Julia Hart match that was really good. I think it was at Full Gear. But yeah, and so I was bummed because I almost missed that full match because how long the lines were for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Dobby.
Even though I intentionally left when FTR came out, so I didn't think I was going to miss anything.
Well, they showed you.
I know, right?
Yeah. Um, so our first match up, um, we had what why ow, ow, ow. Sorry, cat claws.
Oh God. He just fly off the chair
He
into
did.
oblivion.
Yeah. He was just
The
like,
first match
focus.
was Bloodline versus
Yes.
Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Yeah.
And the crowd just like going ham for Randy Orton's theme song.
Insane.
Yeah. It was it gave us a taste of what the night was going to be, and I think also, we had talked about this when MJ was watching the pay-per-view. The crowd overwhelmed the audio people. Like,
Yeah.
they figured it out by the 2nd match, I think? No? 3rd match?
I couldn't hear the commentary the whole show.
Oh, okay.
There was pieces where I could, but the crowd was like 75% of the time the crowd was so lit that like I don't know how those people have voices, to be honest. Like that was like the next day. I mean, granted, like they had a day to rest before probably going back to work, but oh my God, like props to them. I do not have that kind of vocal capability. So I was really impressed with that crowd.
Maybe the whole country just got a vacation day.
They all got like a lozenge on the way out.
Yeah. "Thank you for coming. Here's your lozenge. It has honey."
Ooh. That
Um,
was fun. Man, like seeing every time Randy would get in the ring, though, the crowd would just get so lit for him. That was awesome. I also really like him and KO together. It's just like a fun nod. And like KO is so good about deferring to whoever he's with. Like he's really good about giving like that person like their spotlight and their moment to shine. Like people were excited about KO, but they were
mhm,
really, really excited about Randy. And so he was even in the ring kind of like going like this to Randy, and like the crowd would like cheer more and stuff. So it was like KO's like the ultimate hype man that everybody needs in their life, you know?
yeah. He's he might have an angry little big dinosaur on his arm, but he himself is a sweet little Barney, I guess.
And he's got a bull because he's a Taurus.
I think everyone just assumes that it's for The Rock, but I remember seeing Corey Graves used to do that Inked show on
Yes.
WWE Network, which I loved, and I'm so sad
I
that
did too. I loved it.
um I think the one with Kevin Owens is where someone just like walked through their shot because they were on the street.
I don't even remember that. Now I want to go binge all of these old ones
God.
and see. I'll find if they're on YouTube or something. I don't think they're on Peacock anymore, right?
No, they are.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I know what I'm doing
you
this
have to like
weekend.
search for it, but yeah. Yeah. Bring it back, WWE. Put it on your YouTube.
I think they do that other one on YouTube sometimes, like when they went through Dom's tattoos and then your man, Damian Priest, they went through his, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. His gear was awesome. I know I'm jumping ahead, but his gear was pretty fucking sick during Backlash.
His gear reminded me so much of like just me in high school.
Do something for you, Sabrina.
No, it continues to reaffirm everything that I believe. That's that's it.
You're like, we would have been so cute together in high school.
No, that is not my thought on that. He is
Absolutely not.
no, no, giant walking red flag for like, I see that now as an adult, but I would not have seen that as a 15, 16-year-old. I would have just been like, "But we're in."
Oh, that's how I feel with Darby Allen. The second I saw Darby Allen, I was like, a 14-year-old, 15-year-old MJ would be fucking in love with this man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he's friends with Bam Margera. One of my first like teenage crushes was Bam Margera. And I'm just like, and now that they're buddies, I'm like, oh my God, that's some jokes write themselves, you know?
Yeah. I swear, like, my high school sweetheart wishes he could have been anywhere as cool as Damian Priest.
Was your high school sweetheart kind of like goth esque? Yeah,
Not
for
as
sure.
yeah, like, I was a full-blown goth kid as was he, so and very much so, like, a rocker as well,
Mm.
but he actually played music. Terrible. I always hated his voice, but, you know.
I dated a guy, one of my first boyfriends wore like the big black and neon trip pants with like all the everything on it. Like, yeah, all the straps and everything. Oh my gosh, so funny.
Oh, yeah, I had the trip pants, 100%. My favorite pair had, gigantic safety pins through the
Uh-huh.
pockets that made an X. I can't
Nice.
I can't I wore these to school. I swear, it's no coincidence the year after I graduated that they went to strict uniforms
Oh my
because,
God, that's so funny.
like, I was wearing fishnet the things I wore to school, I'm still surprised they let me get away with. Like, it was a lot of pleather, a lot of vinyl, a lot you couldn't have chains, but, like, yeah, a lot of see-through things.
I used to, yeah, same. I had a teacher, my Spanish teacher kept me in class like after one session and he was like, I need to talk to you about the clothes that you wear and the attention, the unwanted attention it probably brings to you. And I was like, I was so snarky. I was like, what, why are you looking? Like, you know what I mean? It was like a man, just me and a man in a room. In hindsight, that was not a good move for him at all, you know?
No.
He was the sweetest man ever, and like even after I graduated, he would go into where I work sometimes, and we'd talk and like make jokes and stuff, and like he'd bring his family and with his family there and stuff, and like he was a good dude. But in hindsight, now you would never get away with having him and me alone in a room with me dressed in like Steve Madden stilettos that were like this tall, fishnets, and I had like the cute. I still have it actually, like a pink neon green and like black trip skirt that was I thrifted it for like $6. It was so cute too. And then I had like a sheer like fishnet type shirt or like the cutouts on the shoulder. Yeah, it was so cute. And like I mean, it's one of those things now I'm like, damn, that was a big choice at 16 to be rocking that. And also like this had fucking 3 flights of stairs in my high school.
Mhm.
that would I would not attempt that now.
My freshman and sophomore year, the way our lockers work, they were like half lockers, and I couldn't reach the top one, so which was mine. Like you would get a locker where you put like your coat and your bag, and that was it. And then on the top would be your books. But there would be like a lever in your locker to like open your half of it.
Oh,
And
okay.
mine was always the one that was on top, and I'm too short, like, to get it, so I always had to wear platforms every single day to
Mm.
school in order to not cause an avalanche of my books.
Oh
So,
my God.
every day I was wearing platform boots of at least 4 inches, and they were always knee high. Like, it
That's
was
pretty that's pretty sick though.
yeah, yeah, it was born out of necessity, but I regret nothing.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. I wonder what you and me together in high school would have been like.
Chaos.
I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like we would have gotten along in high school.
I don't know, like, I was
I feel like I was such like a I don't know how to explain it. Not for any reason of you. I think that I would have been the issue. I
uh,
think I would have been the issue in our friendship.
I was such, like, for very gothy, scary on the outside, also covered in glitter, so that hasn't changed. And then but I didn't do anything, like, as far as, like, I wasn't getting into any trouble. That's why I think no one gave a shit about what I was wearing, because there were other people who
Sure,
dressed the way I did that got, written up and stuff, and then, like, I
sure.
would walk in, nothing would happen, so, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was, like, in theater and, got the honor roll and whatnot, so people left me the hell alone. I didn't cause any trouble. And by people, I mean teachers and the administration.
I I did not get in trouble, but I was really like I feel like I have a really soft approach and like I know how to manage my emotions now. Like I think I was just like a pinball as a teenager in that way where I just felt also I was very much like I like think of things from a different perspective now. I think I would have been like, fuck you looking at to everybody all the time, and like very like not throwing elbows, but like a very like aggressive I don't know how to explain it. I think I was just I don't know. If anyone ever told me, wow, you were really moody in high school, I'd be offended, but I can say it.
Fair enough. Um,
We had a time machine, that would be pretty funny though.
I don't need to see that version of Sabrina ever again. Sh- She had a lot
Yeah.
of issues.
Yeah. I don't want to go back to that either. Like when people are nostalgic about that time in their life, I'm just like, no, I'm really like set where I'm at. Thanks.
Yeah. I think the thing that we would have gotten along with, like, at that point, I remember, like, refusing to go out on dates with my boyfriend on Mondays or Fridays be like, until after SmackDown was over. Or
That's
Thursdays,
pretty
Thursdays,
awesome.
yeah. Thursdays when SmackDown was happening, so, yeah.
That's badass.
Something, it's something. Uh,
God. So you're like the equivalent to like those guys that are like, it's Sunday, babe, it's football day.
mhm, and I swear that, like, that's just who I am as a person. Mm. Now I can record things, so it's fine, but
Yeah,
back then it
right.
was a VCR and tape and trusting my mother, which I did not do because she did not like my wrestling obsession.
Why, Sabrina? She didn't want you watching brawn panty matches and just kidding.
She didn't even know about those. God,
Oh, really?
I'll never forget, she'd come home from the hospital, she had had, like, surgery or something, and me and my uncle were watching wrestling, and someone did maybe a Hurricane Run or something, something like that, and
Yeah.
my mom just starts laughing high as a kite going, "He just put his dick in his face," or his and, like, is laughing hysterically, and me and my uncle are just like, "Okay, lady."
Sorry, my child is licking his leg. Please don't lick your leg when I'm on the podcast. Thank you. He
Uh,
like wasn't licking anything inappropriate. He just had his like leg straight up in the air, like, and was just licking up his leg.
mhm. "You gonna want
God.
some of this, folks?" "No."
And he's like, I gotta look good in case you put me on camera.
Right, right. My fans.
My adoring fan.
Mhm. Back to Backlash. Since we haven't even gotten through technically the first match, we went to Damian Priest's gear and off we went. Um,
I
we
am not into for a couple weeks there. Granted, I haven't been watching a lot of Raw and SmackDown, but when Solo Sokoa first came out and was like, "No, I'm going to be like the new leader of the Bloodline," I was like, "Ooh, interesting," and like the intrigue behind it. I couldn't really like be attached to this match storyline wise. Like it was cool for me to see KO and Randy. I don't know. I couldn't really get to. I don't know. I couldn't really like, get into it if that makes sense. Like it,
yeah, yeah.
you made a good point where you were kind of just like you're excited because you want to see where it goes, and I understand that. But in the meantime, maybe I'm just being like impatient. But I was like, it was hard for me to focus during the first match. Maybe it was also because I was so hooked on the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a hard time focusing too, um, but, like, life was just crazy as well.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy watching Paul Heyman's face throughout the entire
Yes.
thing. He's doing the, like, "I'm conflicted" thing so well, and,
Hmm.
like, concern and all of that. I'm wondering if it's not so like, is it Solo or is it Solo following The Rock's orders?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm hoping they'll unveil.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Did,
Fingers crossed.
I feel like you might have liked my story, but did you see what Sportskeeda just posted about how supposedly like the dirt sheets are saying that they don't want Jacob Fatu to take away to come to WWE and take steam away from like Solo Sokoa is kind of like the rumor going around right now.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't I don't know. I think introducing, like, we one additional, like, member of the bloodline at a time makes sense to me because if
Yeah.
they throw a bunch of new people at most of the WWE for most of the WWE audience,
Yeah.
building them individually, I think, is a really good idea.
Yeah.
So you bring in one that's, and then you're like, "Oh, this is a cousin." And it's like, "This is the brother
This
of the."
is a cousin.
Yeah. When you're at the family reunion and a family
That
member,
is a cat.
yeah, he's gonna do the same exact thing where he's gonna scratch the shit out of me when he jumps away. He just he's so needy. So needy.
Meanwhile, Freddie just crawled underneath my shirt that I'm wearing so he could be warm,
Mm.
even though it's 91 degrees here, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy is doing either. This is not usually not
He's
to
like
say that
eyeing your bookshelf. Is he trying to?
he might be. He might be like,
Is he
"Yes,
plotting?
yes, human, I'm here to see you. Definitely not to wreck everything behind you." Like I've
Hmm.
done multiple times on this one. "Don't bite my chair."
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Is there anything else? Oh, well, so at the end of this match, we kind of touched on it. I don't remember his name at the moment. The next member of the bloodline comes on out,
Sure, sure.
curing the victory.
I couldn't hear because of the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the balance on my TV's off too. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, I was trying to listen. Also, I kept jumping back between work and yeah, for the first match anyway.
Yeah. Well, cousin number 2 has arrived.
I will say that they did a really good job in that match of still making KO and Randy look strong while hyping up the storyline for the bloodline still. I thought that was great.
Yes. Yeah. Um, I I think overall this pay-per-view or PLE was booked really well.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, our second match, that
Hmm.
was that was the women's triple threat.
The ladies, yep,
Yeah, yeah. So we had 'twas Tiffy time, but
it
not
was.
in the she's winning the match type of way. So her, Bailey, and Naomi,
Hmm.
and the crowd was like throughout the entire night, lit, which was
I Oh, go ahead, lady. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say which we were talking about
Hmm.
prior to filming.
I've sent Sabrina a voice memo before this when I was watching that match, and I was literally like crying on the voice memo. I was so emotional, especially seeing like Naomi get her flowers, and like I wasn't sure how the crowd was going to react to women. Like you never know, right? You just and the reception was just as big as like the men's matches, and it really just made me so emotional. And especially like the way that Naomi was just eating it up, and like everybody, of course, was, but like her face, like getting that adoration and everything that we've seen in like the last year and a half for her is so cool. Like her really coming into her own and like not standing for things that aren't there for her anymore, like showing up for herself. And
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just really badass to see like she made a decision to choose herself by going to TNA and like rose to the top there and really shined. She was really glowing. And then she brought that glow back to WWE, and it's just it was just really lovely.
Yes. It was anytime, like, if you're ever in a building and Naomi comes out, like, the energy picks up a whole new notch or 2.
Mhm.
She just has that presence and that energy. Um,
Yeah,
I love that woman.
yeah,
I
she's pretty
I
awesome.
I've loved her since she was a not a
Funkadactyl.
Punkadactyl, there we go. I was like, "Not a pterodactyl." She just kinda it was a terrible gimmick, it was a terrible
Before she
time.
evolved, I loved her.
My god. You know, I wouldn't have put it past Vince in the Divas era to be like, "You're going to dress like a pterodactyl and your catchphrase will be."
Yeah, for real.
The whole
But
audience. Okay,
I
I'm gonna stop croaking that into the microphone.
I think it's really cool, like this to think about. Like, I got really emotional thinking about like you and I both have bonded over our love of Total Divas, and how that show is also frustrating in so ways. You get like a front seat to like basically seeing women mistreated, like let's be honest. But also
Mhm.
you get it's there's certain things that are fake about. Obviously, it's like reality TV, but seeing the development of the women's division from that show's inception to now is crazy. And it's so cool to get to see that as women's wrestling fans.
Yeah, and to see, so many of the women that were on that show going on and still, like, killing it
Yeah.
is great. Um, so, I think one of my favorite spots from their match was, um, the Alabama Slam that, Tiffany Stratton does, where it's like the
Yes.
cartwheel into well, she took in, onto the, announce tables, which don't
Yeah.
give. They're just like, "Nope, we've used nails this time, folks. They're not coming apart."
Right.
They used to just be put together with string and hope, but now they are, like, soldered together.
There was a really cool God, it was a double suplex moment with the three of them that was pretty sick too. That was
Mhm,
pretty rad. There was a couple strange spots like in the beginning of the match where they felt like the pacing, like they were kind of getting used to the chemistry with each other, so it felt off, like there were pauses. And I might watch it back to kind of see where that happened because obviously Tiffany Stratton's still a newbie, like she's been wrestling less than 3 years. So I think some spots were kind of like they were trying to like make sure she got the spots
mhm.
correctly, to pause a little bit more. But there was times where you could see the breaks in that, but then they got more in the flow as the match progressed. So I did catch that, but it was fun to I don't know. I'm curious what they're gonna do next. I love triple threat matches, so it gives so much possibility for storyline after this too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think there were any real surprise outcomes on this pay-per-view. I
Yeah,
think it was pretty obvious how everything was gonna go, which, I mean, we just came out of WrestleMania, which had
a
some
ton.
surprises, yeah, and, like, a bunch of changes and all that. We just had the draft, however
Yeah,
feel about that. King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring going on now. WWE's got
that's
a lot
gonna
of
be
stuff going.
sick.
Yeah. Ricochet just won the
Speed
3-minute belt or
championship.
whatever it is.
Hmm.
So,
I
um,
feel weird calling him a speed champion. It just sounds like he was like a comedian in the '90s or something. That sounds horrible. That was a dark joke. Sorry, Chris Farley. R.I.P.
oh, I see my brain went a completely different way. Like, as a man, do you really want a belt for being the speed champion? I get things done in under three
Shit.
minutes.
I didn't even think about that.
That's all I can think of. And I refuse to believe that Triple H hasn't thought that either.
That's kind of bad marketing. Now that you mention it,
I think he
I mean,
giggles.
either way, either it's sex or it's drugs. I don't
Little
know.
rock and
He
roll.
goes fast. Oh, I just got on my nose. Fuck. It's ginger too, so it's like, I'm
Ooh,
burning you, bitch.
cry about it.
Cry about it. I thought about buying that shirt this weekend. Little Liv Morgan shirt.
Steve Morgan.
Her sister, Liv Morgan.
It sounds like something that, like, a parent who doesn't watch wrestling, "Oh, you like that Liv Morgan, right?"
Oh, I just had to get Becky the shirt for the Liv Morgan.
Mhm. You know,
Oh, the
she
fact that I chose Becky's name, I was trying not to say Bianca, but all I could think of was women wrestler names as this hypothetical child.
I mean, I kinda wonder if there is going to be a boom of, like, Becky's and Bianca's born to wrestling fans.
Did I ever tell you that
Is
an ex of mine wanted to name our first child Jericho?
No, you did not. Well,
Yeah. It was also like, he's like, they could be Shawn Michaels, or we could do Chris Jericho. He's like, okay, what about Jericho? And I was like, no, no, I love wrestling, but we're not going to name our kids like wrestlers have such problematic histories. Why would I want to name my kid after? Like, also, I want them to be their own person. I don't want to name my kid Shawn Michaels.
mhm. Who also was a very problematic person.
I always made a joke. I was like, let's just name him the Undertaker, you know? But then I feel like if he probably would have gone for it if I would have kept saying that. So
First name under, last name taker.
Taker Under. That doesn't sound right.
Nope. Moving moving on. Did you have anything else about that match that you'd like to talk about?
No, I was gonna say perfect segue would be speaking of bisexual Undertaker, Damian Priest match is next.
If I had
Oh, Tiffany's gear looked great. Actually, everybody's gear looked great. Like that's my favorite gear of Tiffany so far, and I really
agreed.
like the look of Becky's gear. I also one thing I left out, but when Becky, sorry, not Becky. Oh my god,
Bailey?
Bailey. Thank you. Bailey's gear looked awesome, and I loved when Bailey came down the ramp too, and it was like this guy was standing next to Bailey, like, no, it's time, like it's Tiffy time, and then she was just kind of like giving him shit, you know, and then like
Mhm.
you panted Tiffany Stratton in the ring. It was kind of cute. I like that little detail.
Yeah. And, yeah, when you were saying Becky, I'm like, Becky was at the Kentucky Derby with her husband. Look at both of them looking, like, fabulous, of course.
I hated Seth's outfit so fucking much. He looked like my drunk uncle.
Well, did you hear the explanation about why they were dressed like that?
I feel like I did, but I feel like I forgot it.
So, he was supposed to be representing, like, Kentucky Derby, like, the past, like, fashion-wise,
Hmm.
but still be Seth, and then she is, like, the future, and it was, like, because of WWE's, Then, Now, Forever thing.
Ah, that's clever.
That's why they went with that. I will admit, I liked Seth's outfit after that because I think he looked more like an leprechaun Easter egg. Um
He totally looked like a big fat cat who was like, I just got done laying off 10 workers and now I'm going to blow all my money at the Kentucky Derby.
which for the past fits. Absolutely fits.
Nailed it.
Mhm. Whereas Becky, it's more like, "I just got done," she's the owner of Sprockets from the Jetsons. Sprockets, I think, was the company that he worked for.
That's awesome. I thought you were going to say she looked like she was in Futurama or something.
That also I cannot remember a single business in that, though.
I know. I can't either. Now that I'm trying to think about it, I can't. I'm going to message you after this and make it 20, I bet.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the color of Tiffany Stratton's gear, like, specifically that, I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Uh,
It had the cool, like, ornate, but it was made of fabric because I follow all the different wrestling gear creators. I think Danger Snake did this one. And I zoomed in on the gear because it was just on a mannequin. I zoomed in on it and it was like the cool pieces that were like purple or whatever were like lifted with fabric. Cause in my head, I was like, is that plastic? So I was thinking that would hurt. But he
mhm.
like literally filled it almost with like a foam or something to like have it raised like that. I don't know. I've always wanted to make stuff like that. Like I've always wanted to try to make wrestling gear. So I love following all the people that make this cool stuff. I'm just so fascinated by it.
I can make pillows. That's about it at this point.
Yeah. I used to like modify like vests and stuff, like battle vests to make them all cool with like fabrics and stuff back in the day. So, and I used to slightly modify my outfits, but I don't know. I would love to make wrestling gear. It'd be so fun.
I could see you being good at that.
Oh, thanks.
So yes, up next, the bisexual Undertaker,
Yo,
um,
man.
yep, versus Yeet. Um,
Versus Yeet. Did you hear that the crowd was saying like
Yeet,
known
nice.
Yeet?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that was so funny.
yeah, yeah. They had a really good match. I mean, with those 2, there was no doubt in my mind they were gonna have a good match. I love, though, Damian Priest selling like a drunken sailor. It
Yeah.
sends me each time. Him just like, "Ooh," like, he looks like Jack Sparrow has taken over his body, and he's just like, "Ooh, ooh," like, that's all I hear in my head.
That is the funniest comparison. Oh my God.
You're because he does it a lot in one-on-ones, like big one-on-one matches, you'll notice it.
Yeah. I freaking cracked up so much. I've said this to Sabrina too. Fucking Jey Uso, they have him billed at 242 pounds, and then Damian Priest, who towers immensely over this man. And Jey Uso's cut, he doesn't have like a lot of extra body fat. Damian Priest only weight is billed at 7 pounds heavier than Jey Uso. In what planet does that make any sense? Unless Jey Uso's rocking some like Shaquille O'Neal size shoes.
I mean, Damian Priest bones are made of foam, so that must be it.
Oh, there you go. You remember like that foam stuff when we were kids that was like textured? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like you could kind of stretch it a little bit, but it was like it came in like these weird molds and stuff, and you could like pull it out normal. I'm gonna have to send you a picture. The
I'll
texture. I don't know. Just
I'll probably know when I see it, but I have no idea what you're describing right now.
just me doing like hand gestures.
Mhm.
The foam. Remember the foam.
Yes. This episode will be called Backlash, Remember the Foam.
Remember the foam. No FOMO of the foam.
Your eyes are fantastic with
Back to the foam chair.
cutting you off with your dad jokes and all
All
your
right, last
puns.
one.
Um, yes, loved the loved this match. I think it went the perfect amount of time. What did you think
Yes,
about when Jey Uso came out and everyone got the fireflies out?
I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
That that made me emotional.
Mhm. And it's a really cool visual with him.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I loved everyone because it was a huge crowd, like the arms
Hmm.
going. Beautiful.
Seeing everybody like support him when he's kind of been very vocal about his insecurities about being a single star too was really cool because it just feels like everybody's kind of lifting him up around him, kind of saying like, "No, you can do this," and like it's just he's getting like the constant crowd support, and that's pretty badass to see.
Yeah. I do hope after this pay-per-view, other than like the big four, that they do the thing again where they separate, like it goes Raw, has a pay-per-view, then SmackDown, because and I don't see anybody else main eventing other than
Hmm.
Cody Rhodes. Like,
Yep. I know where you're going.
and I'd
I know where
love
you're
to
going.
see Damian Priest main event during his title run.
Sure.
PLE, same thing. Like, I mean, Becky has main evented before, but love to see it again. And
Yeah.
Bailey's gonna be screwed because she's on SmackDown with Cody. But
Sure.
maybe she'll just put a little laxatives in his tea or something, and then main
I
event.
forgot. I forgot that Cody's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. I missed that part of the draft.
Yeah, because he got locked into place for all the champions did, other than the women's tags.
That's right. That's right.
They bounce. Boot, boot, boot.
Crazy.
Um, yeah, did you have anything that you would like to add to this match
I
commentary?
love their chemistry together. I really like not that I had any doubts, but like I feel like of everyone Jay's faced individually, this was probably my favorite singles match for Jay. I really liked the chemistry of those two together.
I agree with that. They have you can tell that they've known each other for a long time and they've probably worked in the ring a lot together. Um
Sure.
and not just like I mean, obviously we've seen them in tag matches, but like
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell they're buds.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. And it's I love when you see people who are friends or buddies get along because you can really just tell there's that trust there. It's
Mhm.
cool.
And I forget what wrestler was saying this, but they were saying like generally when you're friends with someone, um, you hit them a little harder. Like the closer you are with someone, the harder you hit them.
Taya Valkyrie said that at
Mm,
one point, I know, because she was talking about how with her and Johnny,
yeah.
yeah, they're like Chris Van it was a Chris Van Vliet interview because he was talking about he's like, what if you don't take the dishes out? You're like, that's for not doing the dishes. And she was like, yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm. It's their form of couples therapy.
She was talking about how like when you're some of her friends too, like people she's wrestled in TNA and stuff too in the past, like she'll kind of have a little bit more fun in that way because they can just let go and not worry about that. They're a little more stiff with each other, is what she was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
We still made this about AEW somehow.
yes. Or Ring of Honor, I guess, technically.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, on to